Member for Calgary Mountain View, followed by Edmonton Strathcona.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. All workplace deaths are preventable. They arise from unsafe working conditions, lack of training, unsafe choices. Workplace deaths are a tragedy, individually, as a family, and in a community. Alberta had 110 occupational deaths in 2007, roughly 9 deaths per 100,000 worker year population. Last year, there were 173 deaths on the job. The workplace fatality rate has declined in the last few years, according to WCB, but Alberta and B.C. still have among the highest in Canada, excluding the Northwest Territories. Alberta employs only 1.4 health and safety inspectors per 10,000 workers. The national average is 2 per 10,000 workers. Occupational health and safety prosecutions, already among the lowest in Canada, dropped to only a few last year, despite 173 deaths on the job. Farm workers in Alberta died at a higher rate of 10 per 100,000, averaging 18 farm deaths per year over the last 20 years. Unacceptable, preventable tragedies. It must be mentioned that this includes 25 major injuries per death at a huge healthcare cost, not borne by these corporations, but by our public health system, according to the Alberta Centre for Injury Control and Research. Deaths and disabling injuries among farm workers are particularly common and troubling in light of this government's deliberate exclusion of paid farm workers, even on the large factory farms, beef, chicken, hog, and dairy, from any oversight. It's shocking to most Alberta consumers to learn that the very people that provide our daily bread, potatoes, corn, and beef, do not have protection of occupational health and safety or workers' compensation. After a decade of denial and referral to committees, this government refuses to give farm workers, including children, the right to and the benefit of every other worker enjoying in the workplace in the 21st century. Standard workplace protection, timely inspection, diligent investigation of deaths or injuries. Loss of life due to preventable work-related injury is a most fundamental responsibility for modern government. Only the first step is to ensure a well-educated workforce. Laws are essential where lives are at stake, including legislated standards and enforcement of those standards. Albertans, including children, deserve a higher level of investment in prevention in workplaces today. This National Day of Mourning must be matched by action and investment in the evidence that leads to safer workplaces and safe workers. We can and we must do better in this recurring theme of neglect in Alberta today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.